Hi folks, and in this video what we're going to do is we're going to advance on our current quest information. So at this moment in time, if I walk up to my character, it will then give us some information which is very basic at this moment in time. So what we're going to do in this video is just get it so it outputs the actual NPC's player's name. So with that in mind, what we're going to do is go to our lovely, oh that was under AI, quest giver, there you go, and quest giver like so, and just launch this information. So what we're going to need to do is actually create yet again another structure. This structure is going to be called quest info. And within this, first thing we're going to do is get the quest giver's name. And just set this to a string. And we'll make this an array as well. Then we're going to add first quest text or start quest text, then mid quest text. So the mid quest text is going to be returning if the actual condition hasn't been fully met yet. Then finally end quest text. So for this one, we're just going to build a quick example. This is going to be Bob, who says, "Hello, can you get the leather armor? I am waiting for you to get the leather armor." And then finally, "Well done, you've found." Excellent. So to start off with, what we have is the name of the character, then the beginning quest text. So this is going to be what you should receive straight away, and then the mid quest text if you have walked in and out of the collision box and have not completed the quest. You will then get the mid quest text, and then of course you have the end quest text, which goes, "Well done, you've found the actual item." So we're just going to save this off for now because we're going to actually use that later on. And what we're going to do is go to our quest giver, and we're going to just set this quest giver's name. So we're going to build a variable, and we'll call this quest giver info, like so, and this will then go to quest info just here. And we're just going to get this information, break it, and get, in this case, the reference to this player character, which is going to be the player's name. So here we are. We have currently the information of getting the quest giver information and the actual name of the player. So if we just set this to a public variable, call this a string, and this will be the NPC quest giver's name, like so. So then what you do is quite quickly set this to this lovely data array like so. So what will happen is at the moment our quest giver's name has been set to array index 0, which will be Bob's information, and our quest giver's name has now been set to Bob. Now to make this appear correctly on our character, what we're going to do is we're going to go to this lovely section here, which is NPC's name, and we're going to actually create a binding of this. And what we're going to do is we're going to get this character's name. So, aha, we did this wrong. Let's delete that quest giver's name. We don't need that at all. What we need to do is go to our player character. That makes more sense. There you go. And we're going to add a variable in here called current quest giver's name. Like so. Set this to a string type, just like we did earlier. Then we're going to go to our quest giver and cast to main player, get player character, set quest giver name to this array elements information, then done. So what's that now is happening is the information when we walk into this player is actually updating the player's quest giver name. In fact, what would be best to do is to add this entire line of code down on here. In fact, we already have this pre-written. So what we're going to do is just chop around and change the code. This is one thing with programming, is that you'll find you'll start writing some code and eventually you'll work out what you're doing and where you're actually using it. So I can actually get rid of this hello string completely. I can use this then gets information to break this structure. This set information is then going to connect to these objects like so, and then straight over to here. Fantastic. Then delete that information there out completely. Now what we're going to do is our speaking NPC. So this is the design view. We're going to simply cast to main player, get player character like so, and then current NPC quest giver's name, and set that to the return node. So now what should happen is if I walk into this lovely box, Bob's name appears just like so. Now the interesting thing would be to expand upon this to see what we can do. So I'm going to just build another quest giver and call this one Dave. Then what we're going to do is go to context AI quest give. Then we're going to create a child of this one, call him Dave, just like so. There we go. So all the quest information should now be exactly the same, apart from we actually have to set it to be public information. So if we go to the quest giver, public quest info, set that. In fact, it's not that we want to set at all. What we're going to do is create a variable and call it quest giver index. Set this to an integer, get this, set this to here. Okay, so to start off with, this integer will be set to 0, perfectly fine. Then on Dave, if we have a look, he should have quest giver index, set this to 1. So now, if I put Dave in the world as well, just like so, we'll move Dave over here, just by the tree. What will happen is if I go speak to Dave, oh, his name appears, his head isn't appearing there. It's very strange. Oh, it's because he's slightly behind a layer, that's why. There you go. So now I can speak to Dave, and if I go to speak to Bob, there you go. And that's how we get the basic data from the actual quest giver's name. In the next tutorial, of course, we'll look at actually getting the entire quest dialogue and set it up with some sort of mission parameters.